Welcome to Balance Sports, a show at the cross-section of women's basketball and a gay time.
This is what happens when two best friends catch up twice a week to talk hoops in front of a green screen.
From interviews with legends to blunders on camera, covering Coach's game plan and also her wardrobe.
We're here to grow the game and have a good time.
This is Balance Sports.
This is Breon January.
I'm Jewelz.
I'm Brianna Stewart.
This is Ezzy, and you're watching
Balance Sports.
Welcome back to Balance Sports. I'm Jewelz.
I'm Hunter.
And we are going to hop on here and talk about Game 2.
Before Game 3 gets running over.
So it's all in this one episode. So the Aces won 87-71. Were you surprised?
No.
Yeah.
They don't even look bothered right now, the Aces. They look like they're just going through. I was thinking the other day that the fact that it has felt like a really competitive year and the Aces could win this thing, having only lost once in the playoffs, is pretty astounding.
Yeah, I definitely feel like they're going to do that. They look very comfortable just rolling. You said it during the game that Chelsea didn't even go off. Chelsea wasn't crazy, and they still didn't win the Sun. Like, this was definitely their game to, like, honestly, it feels like make up for the first game. They got a second strike at it to win on the road, and they weren't even close.
Yeah, and we've been accustomed to seeing Asia and Chelsea going off when they have a third player, whether that be Jackie, Kelsey, whoever. It was Kelsey this night. I feel like that just opens up the floor, and it felt a lot easier for Asia and Chelsea to get their baskets. Asia was 10 of 13. The efficiency that they're playing with right now just doesn't feel real. And Connecticut's a really strong defensive team, so to see the Aces continue to just flummox them, it feels like Kurt Miller was saying, we're throwing everything we can, and then we know what they're going to try to do. And Asia is just, he was like, you got to give it to her. In the postgame, I thought it was great that he was like, she does not come off the court. Her health and fitness is incredible, but her mental game is strong. You've seen the way she's grown. And they about to win this thing.
They definitely are about to win this thing. So the Aces had 3 players in double digits. The MVP, A'ja Wilson, had a double-double, 26 points, 10 rebounds. Chelsea had 21 points, 8 assists. And KP had 20 pace.
Really strong.
Let's jump to the post-game interview, because the people will come if I have.
This game 1 to game 2 felt a lot like All-Star Weekend, where you wanted redemption after bricking in the 3-point contest.
Dang.
But you had redemption today.
You ever see how people come at me? People wonder why I'm feisty. It's like I'm dodging bullets here.
Very interesting, fun way to ask questions by dragging the player first and then throwing the question in afterwards.
Related question. I know A'ja apparently said something to you between the game 1 and 2 to kind of get you going. A'ja, if you want to share anything about that.
Go ahead, A'ja. Tell them what she said.
Edited version. No, I told her she needed to get her shit together. Okay. At the end of the day, that's what she needs to do. We drafted her to do that, everything. So I made her make sure she understood that we need her to make shots. And I know it sounds harsh, but KP's a pro, and she went out there and took care of business. And I think she understands that we believe in her. And like I said in the last press conference, I have ways that I talk to my teammates to get them to understand where I need them to be and where we need them to be. So yeah, I cussed her out.
Next question.
It feels like the media is trying to run with this and have this storyline of Asia's pulling this out of Kelsey. And I don't think Kelsey wants that to be the storyline. She made it really clear. I felt like the shots just weren't falling. It wasn't like she is not saying she was in the slump. She just wasn't hitting baskets. Y'all calm down. People don't need to be praying over me.
Exactly. I like that she said that, and she goes, they didn't tell me anything crazy. They were just like, hey, you keep doing what you're doing. And I thought Chelsea Gray summed it up really well. There was a question asked something different, and she goes, I just want to acknowledge Kelsey had not been hitting her shots, and we all knew that, but there was a reason that she was still on the floor, because Becky doesn't have a bench. Just kidding. But Chelsea said there's a reason Kelsey's still on the floor. She's still facilitating. She's playing good defense. She's getting rebounds. She helps in all these different ways. So I like that yeah, she knew her shot just wasn't hitting, but her teammates were like, okay, obviously this is a player that's going to get hot again. And she did. That really helped them run away with game 2.
Absolutely. I do want to acknowledge that, yes, the leadership of A'ja Wilson, you can see her developing into a real leader on this court, and she's spoken to that. And I think that's just really cool to see. Like, I feel like most of the time we're not paying attention. We're not hearing those moments. We're not seeing it as much, and we're getting to see it. And it's really cool.
Really cool to see. Chelsea Gray's leadership, I thought, has been really good. And someone asked her in the post-game conference when she didn't make the All-Star game, how that made her feel, if that was motivation. She was like, you know what, I just use it as a reset. I really got in the lab, studied some film, worked on some things, and got in even better shape over that break. But yeah, it just feels like Chelsea and A'ja.
End of sentence. I really want people to go ahead and say who should be off this list, because no one is. Like, I can't believe she wasn't an all-star. True. Then who's coming off, people? Say it. Ain't nobody gonna say it.
Wouldn't that be wild in a post game? The way these post game conferences have been going, it would not surprise me, honestly. If someone was like, Chelsea, you should have been on that team instead of Joel Lloyd. And just name drop. I couldn't imagine. Joel Lloyd, obviously, we don't feel this way. You're just tops of my mind.
Tops of your mind because she's been named to the USA Basketball. So, yeah, there was a roster update to USA Basketball. And Kalia Copper, our girl Jewel Lloyd, and Brianna Stewart were added to it. Who were the 3 that were asked to leave?
Ariel Powers.
Yeah.
McBride.
Correct.
And Angel.
Yeah.
And that's USA Basketball update.
Connecticut had 4 players in double digits. Courtney Williams had 18. JJ had a double-double, 16 points and 11 boards. AT had 13 points. Bree Jones had 12.
I was really impressed with Courtney Williams this game. She was definitely seeking her shot, and she looked really comfortable. She makes impressive shots.
Yeah.
But they have got to get more out of their other guards. DeWanna Bonner is averaging 2.5 points per game so far in the finals. DeWanna Bonner, Natisha Heidemann, Odyssey Sims, and Dejanay Carrington. They just have to produce more. It doesn't even feel like they're guarding that the Aces are respecting Odyssey or Dejanay on the 3-point line whatsoever.
How much did they score? Did they need to?
Oh, no, I'm with you. And so, I mean, Kirk Miller said that in the post game. He said our bigs, look at their production for both games. They've been doing really well. They've been very efficient. He said we need more consistency from our guards.
I just don't see it happening. I'm going to call it right now. This is it. This is over. It will end Thursday night. It feels like their spirit was taken a little bit in game 1, and they fought. I do believe they fought in game 2. I'm telling you, folks in Connecticut, like, the fans are going to have to just be on another level in order for them to make a difference, because I just don't see it. John
Quell kept saying that in the post game. You know, our fans are going to help us pull it out. We're back home, and I think that we'll have them come out with an energy. What I thought was interesting of this game, though, is the first quarter score is 23-15. It started out, I'm almost positive, 10-10. Like it was high energy, and the Aces are like, cool. We actually have this energy the whole game, and that's where I just think. I've been asking myself a lot during the series. Do I really believe this, or is it just this series? Do you believe good offense beats a good defense, or vice versa? I've been asking myself, because these are pretty good polar opposites in that way, and it just seems like the Aces have their number. That regardless of the defense being thrown at them, the Aces are kind of like, well, you can't stop us.
Do I think good offense will always beat good defense?
Yes. Maybe not always, but most of the time.
Most of the time. No, I do think, I think defense is what wins it.
Come on, coach.
I just do, but you gotta have offense, and I think that their offense is better than good.
Yeah.
They have exceptional offense.
Well, and it's not that Las Vegas is busted on defensive either. They have the defensive player of the year, so it's not to be like, well, and their defense sucks.
They have A'ja, so they're fine. They're
a good offense, but if their defense was anything, they have the defensive player of the year. No.
They're doing pretty good for themselves.
Jonquel Jones has been really efficient. Her and Alyssa Thomas, I thought, have gotten the shots they wanted to. I almost want them to shoot 20 times a game, because it feels like if they're not doing it, they're getting a lot of offensive rebounds from it. Sure. And their shots are all, I think, really good shots, taken mostly within the paint or close up.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Aces are just overpowering them. Honestly, you talk about efficiency. I'm sure that's true, but all I can see is the efficiency of A'ja Wilson and Chelsea Gray. Like, it's like you're doing good, but they're doing great.
That is so true. Yeah, Alyssa Thomas was 6 of 9. Jonquel Jones was 6 of 11. And we're like, not good enough. Sorry, not gonna cut it. Y'all miss what, like 7 shots? Sorry, you can't. Not if you want to beat these Aces.
And that is the sad truth because of, like you said earlier, the other players aren't doing it. So though you have really great numbers, you need to be exceptional because the other team is a 3-4-headed monster that like you can't do anything with. So I'm really sorry. You're trying your best. And your best is not good enough for the WNBA Finals.
Do you still get bad energy, bad juju times when you watch Connecticut?
I will say this series not as much.
Okay.
I feel like they have come together, and I'm just not seeing the looks and the they look a lot more cohesive than they did in rounds 2 and 3.
Gotcha.
Wait, is this 1? I think I did that in rounds 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think?
I feel like sometimes a player will come down and take a quick shot. I have one specific player in mind. And not that that's as bad, but a couple times I just noticed Alyssa Thomas was like, instead of having a negative reaction and just like going back and being like, damn, we didn't get that one. It's like oh my gosh, I cannot believe she just shot that. Like, what are we doing? And I'm like, oh, that's tough energy for me. I don't know what's happening over there. I don't know if she's just like, that's not what we talked about in the huddle. This is not the play. It could be
Run the play.
Run the play. Where's the play? But it's not been near as bad.
There was 1 lead change, 6 ties. Connecticut had 28 points in the paint. Vegas had 46.
Vegas had 46 points in the paint?
That is correct. 28's not bad.
No, 46 is more.
The turnovers, neck and neck, 9 and 8. But the conversion of points is Sun converted to 12 points. Vegas only converted to 6. So, like, they won again. I feel like last game there were some victories that they had, but it don't matter.
Look, little victories everywhere for Connecticut. Hang those banners up.
Did you see that post
about Candace?
No. At least the Sun knocked out Candace Parker for the 3rd time in 4 years. That's almost like a title. It's so good.
I wish there was like a crying Candace face behind it, like the crying Jordan. That would be epic.
Yes.
Oh man.
Let's get into predictions. We're going to predict game 3. Up the ante, we're going to go with score.
Oh, okay. This last game, the score was 85-71. I'm going to say it's going to be around the 80s. This feels like it's going to be a celebration at the end. I feel like it's going to be one of those games that Aces are up a good amount. I'm going with final score 88 to...
You try not to be disrespectful.
I'm going to go with 88 to 80.
Wow.
Aces.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Take it back. Yep. I'm staying with it.
Whiplash.
Aces in 3.
Okay. I will also select aces in 3. I'm going to say...
Drag them.
Aces are going to go for 92 to 81.
And then honestly, I would love to predict who you think would get the MVP.
Chelsea. To me, Chelsea Gray is very clearly... I do think... Okay, so hold on. When you're saying the finals, it's this just the 3 series, or is the finals like the entire...
It is this series.
This series. Okay. All right.
I think...
It's Chelsea Gray.
Is that definitive in your mind?
There are no questions in my mind.
You don't think it could be A'ja, because she's had almost a double-double. She's played every single minute of most of these games, led the defense. And this isn't me saying it shouldn't be Chelsea. I think if I had to vote, I would do that as well. I've just been hearing some people really fighting for A'ja, and it made me think about it. And I was like, yeah, that's really like splitting hairs. The fact that also A'ja Wilson in the same season could win every like sweep like this.
This was my year.
That would be iconic. This is the A'ja Wilson have everything year.
I'm not mad at it, But I do think Chelsea has just been a standout in this playoffs. And I think that she has been so electric to watch and was doing ungodly things. And so, yeah, for me, it's Chelsea. If it's just the 3 games, then it's probably Asia.
The team of greatness, they're not losing any games, and even when they have 2 players playing well like this, you're just like, well, you got to play better if you want the MVP. You got to make it definitive. Have a triple-double every game.
We're going to wrap up here and hop back on after the game. I can't believe we're back.
Back in with another episode still to go. Thought this would be the finale.
So the Aces won... Delusional. Delusion. Can you read the score for us?
The final score of this absolutely insane game was Connecticut Sun 105. Las Vegas Aces 76.
Didn't see that coming.
Saw it the other way.
The polar opposite way.
There was a lot of records that Connecticut set in this game.
Let's hear them.
They had 6 players that scored more than 10 points. Dejanay Carrington, Alyssa Thomas, Breon Jones, Courtney Williams, Natisha Heidemann, Dewana Bonner. The other
Setting
one,
records.
Setting records all over. Connecticut shot 14 of 17, 82% from the floor in the first quarter. Best field goal percentage. They had 14 field goals in the first quarter, tied a finals record. They had the most assists in a quarter with 12, and they scored the most points in a quarter, outscoring the Aces in the first quarter 34-2. 34-19.
Nice. Way to keep that note. That was
I was
good.
like, where's that tab? Find the tab.
Find the tab. Let's get into it. I think Dewana Bonner made the biggest difference for Connecticut. She showed up and showed out and
Scored.
Things were very different than they were the first 2 games. I also think Chelsea Gray was the difference for Aces. She did not show out. She had a very normal game with 11 points. And so I think her normality mixed with Dewana Bonner's outstanding performance caused the tipping of the scales there.
Yeah, I thought Dewana Bonner did a really good job on Chelsea Gray. She still was 4 of 7 for 11 looks, but she just seemed bothered all night by that length. Maybe she's taking less shots because Dewana Bonner's on her. So we can say, obviously, Chelsea, yeah, it's not even a bad night.
It's not. It's just a normal. It's a good night.
It's a normal ass night for Chelsea. Came back down to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Aces, I think, were just in a really big hole from the first quarter. They actually got out to a 9-2 lead, and then
you were like,
Connecticut
okay, this is what we thought was going to happen, right?
Yeah, I was like, okay, Connecticut, we knew was going to play tough, but look at the Aces out here just making every shot. And then from there, Connecticut went on a very historic run to end the quarter. After they were down 9-2, Connecticut outscored them 32-10 that quarter.
Yeah. What do you think went wrong?
I think the Aces will play a different game plan for the next round, but it felt like Connecticut was just getting too many open and easy looks. We'll talk about how they outscored them in the paint, but it just felt like they were constantly playing catch up, and so I think what that does is forces your offense, instead of having this like, you know, free flowing, you're coming down and just shooting when the open shot is happening for the Aces. I felt like once they got down like that, it just is pressing, and then that ballooned the lead. Sometimes they'd cut into it. That 3 at the halftime buzzer was great. I don't want to say like they just didn't have the energy, because they started out with it. It just felt like Connecticut was really hitting, and I don't want to chalk this up to it just being like that was a good playoff game and Connecticut had to come out and get one, but Connecticut was at home, and the Aces just didn't have that same oomph this game.
Yeah. I think a lot of people say like it's a closeout game, and so they came with that energy, and I agree you can't match that energy. I also think that you can come out with a completely different energy, which is my intention is to close out this game. It is to end the game, end the series tonight. And I don't think that the Aces came out with that kind of fire. Connecticut did exactly what they needed to do, and the Aces did not at all. They got stomped. I didn't think they could be beat this way, frankly. They are very human, is what they proved. I think Connecticut brought them back down to earth. I'm expecting them to have an incredible performance on Sunday.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out offense firing. I was really... The four that I think we expect offense and a lot to come from, Chelsea Gray, Jackie, Asia, and Kelsey, they were great, but I thought like Kia Stokes was really exposed here, the bigs, and I like Kia defensively, but you know, when you have a player on the court like Kia who doesn't really like pull a lot offensively, I feel like some of those times they were able to really help off, and there was just no respect for her. It felt like Alyssa Thomas was having so many wide open shots.
Speaking of respect,
so much that we were talking about, she would make a shot and just kind of, I don't know if she was looking at her bench, but be like,
is anyone going to guard me?
Is anyone going to guard me? I kept asking myself, is she wondering, is anyone going to guard me? Or is she thinking to herself, like, why don't I just shoot this more often? Because she had the first ever triple-double in WNBA Finals history, which is, the numbers here are outlandish.
Please read it.
Alyssa Thomas was 8 of 14 from the field. She had 16 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists. Cold-blooded.
I can't understand why she wasn't guarded. Like, she had so many uncontested shots. That can't happen, right? Like,
even if she's a shot putter, they cannot be letting her shoot that many times.
Seriously.
She finds her spots, but I really... You know, she's not shooting any of these shots from three. They're all within the paint. They're all like by the free throw line. I love how she just knows her game. Talking through or listening to some of the commentary last night, they were talking about this Connecticut Sun team really knows each other. They know how to play each other and how to bring the best out of one another. And I thought it was cool that they had spoken with Dewana and said, okay, the team kind of came to Dewana and were like, we don't want you to press, but this has not been who you've been in these finals. You've been averaging 2.5 points. 18's much better from her. And her energy just seemed better overall. I feel like not that she was, she wasn't being aggressive those first couple games, and she wanted it. I like when Dewana Bonner is fired up because she will let you know she's screaming real loud and gets the whole team going.
That is the game she had last night. Points in the paint. Connecticut won that. 64 points in the paint.
They won that.
Las Vegas Aces had 26. Second chance points. Connecticut won that again. 18 for them. A measly 4 for Las Vegas.
4 second chance points.
4 second chance points. And turnovers. Las Vegas had total turnovers. Las Vegas had 16 and Connecticut had 9. So I think that tells a story as well of why, you know, one team was so much more successful than the other.
Kurt Miller was talking about in the other games, we have to have more consistency from our guards. Look at what the guards did here. Courtney Williams with 11 points, Dewana Bonner 18, Dejanay Carrington came in and had really good 12 points off the bench. So when you're getting the production and consistency from everybody, and then they're already going to have, Connecticut's got great defense. I think it was just a matter of their offense needed to catch up, and they've played really good defense on the Aces the entire series. They just haven't been able to outscore them, which notoriously is how you win basketball.
You do have to put it in the net more times than the other team.
You can have good defense. You still got to score more.
Yeah.
And that's it. We'll see you guys for game 4 when the Aces close out. The Aces also only scored 7 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, by that time, they put the second unit in. It was just like, okay, we'll see y'all in game 4.
Yeah.
Gonna get some rest now. I don't think the Aces are like playing with their food here, so to speak, but I do think, you know, every game you give another team just makes you more nervous. There's no way, obviously, they want to go back to Vegas for a game 5.
Right.
But, excuse me. I just feel like how we were talking, one of these teams came into game 3 needing to close out a series. One of them was playing to fight for your series. And you're like, well, both of those require the same energy. I just feel like this next game, both of them really understand the importance. Not that this last one wasn't more important, but I think the Aces, besides winning it now, it's like, well, we cannot let this go to 5.
Yeah, because they can see it slipping. They, exactly. Like if they fuck around one more time, it's like, okay, so now what?
Because we've seen Connecticut can do some stuff in a game 5. They will hold your ass scoreless for the last 6 minutes.
It leads me to wonder, is this Connecticut style of play? Or was this them responding to the Aces?
I think it's their style. I think it's really kill you in the paint. It's out, rebound you, and then it's defense. I don't think their defense was that different than it's been. It just the consistency to hold the aces in the 70s. The Sun are now outscoring because they scored so many more points in this game. Even though the Sun are down 2-1 in the series, they're now scoring more points in the series than the aces, which is really odd to me.
Yeah. If this is their true style, then I do like their style. High scoring game with great defense. I'm here for.
I don't think they score that high usually.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be interested to see what the score of the next game will be.
Well, we predicted it way wrong on this one.
We certainly did. I'm going to scale it back. We're not picking all that other crap. I'm just simply going to say the Aces are going to win game 4.
I'm going to go with you on that one.
Okay. Let's get into some lists.
Some lists? Oh, I love a good list.
So, the All-WNBA first and second team was announced. Can we hear the list?
Yes, your first team All-WNBA for the 2022 season is Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and Candace Parker for your first team.
Was there? I believe someone else had that first team.
That was the first team that I selected. I was really shocked, honestly. I didn't know if Skylar would still get that love, but then I had to think about it. These awards are voted on like right at the regular season.
Right.
I love that we're not sleeping on Skylar Diggins-Smith, amazing season, and also that Candace was getting the love and support because we did talk about how Chicago was great as a team, but all their stats were kind of like this. Candace getting some respect.
Way to go. All right, second team.
Second team WNBA was Sabrina Ionescu, Alyssa Thomas, John Quell, not John Kell Jones, Nneka Ogwumike, and Sylvia Fowles.
What are your thoughts on the list?
Good for Sylvia. She's the only one that I was just like, was she going to make this team? Who else could have been on this? And there were some names, but it's her last year, and I think it speaks to we don't have to compare in this house.
We don't.
But to help you all understand this analogy, Sue also retired this year, and there was no way anyone was going to put her on a first or second team. It speaks to how great Sylvia has been, that her stats were good enough to include her on this.
Absolutely. She deserved to be in the conversation.
Absolutely.
She is also the only one that I was like, well, maybe not. But happy she's there. Deserves to be there. But if people definitely are upset. And I can't believe Chelsea Gray's not on this list. And so if people are going to put her on the list, they're going to swap her with Sylvia. But no one's going to say that.
No one's saying that.
People are not acknowledging that Chelsea's numbers in the finals are very different from regular season Chelsea.
Very.
So I think the list is really good. I'll say that.
I think those are great teams. I went back to look at my second team. I had Arike Gumbawale and Jackie Young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at either one of those, but I think these lists are really great. Wilson and Stewart were named to the All-WNBA first team on all 56 ballots by a national panel. So everyone was
unanimous.
It's clearly you guys.
It must be. Cannot deny.
Must be. This is the 10th All-WNBA selection for Candace Parker and the 6th for Skylar Diggins-Smith. This seems like a team that both first and second team had a lot of veterans, but Kelsey Plum, Sabrina, and Alyssa Thomas was making their first All-WNBA selections, which I kind of would have thought Alyssa Thomas would have made a team by now with the career she's had.
Yeah,
Kelsey
surprising.
and Sabrina are both just young, but All-WNBA team debuts.
And we have another list. A fashion list.
Oh, that's a fun one. Some of the same people. Interesting. You can look cute and be good at basketball at the same damn time.
Okay, so it's the W Slam All League Fits. We have a first and second team. So on the second team, we have Sue Bird, Natisha Heidemann,
Rocket,
Ray Burrell, Jewel Lloyd, and Kelsey Plum.
All incredible outfits. When we were looking through, I love some of the examples that they give of what these players wore this year. Very fun fashion. Very fun. Different.
I like the mix of feminine energy, masculine energy. I like the mix. It's a good, I feel like, well-rounded representation of fashion.
Definitely.
It's very fun.
I don't know what style this is, but when I look at some of these players, like Ray Burrell, for instance, is there a style called like street, like athletic, like hip hoppy wear? But then like plus, I feel like these like more like the fabrics and
Are
stuff.
we talking about this middle outfit?
I just like, not just her, but
Okay.
This is the one I'm talking about. I feel like some of these is like a mixture of a streetwear or athletic on top of something that's like a little bit more elevated or chic on all these players. And I don't know what that's called. This is me asking everyone. I love that. I love when they're like, you wouldn't think these things go together, but look how I be rocking it.
Look how it fits on my body. First team, Diamond DeShields. Skylar Diggins-Smith, Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, Dee Richards, and Liz Cambage.
Good for Liz making a list.
The caption on the Liz Cambage post says, "Hi haters." No League Fits team is complete without Liz Cambage. So I love that they are in it and totally understand what's happening here.
Absolutely. Hi haters.
Yes.
I mean, her fashion, I'll never forget what she wore when she signed up to become a Spark. A Spark?
A member of the Sparks.
Thank you. I was like, no.
Yeah, it was next level. It was something else. It was memorable. It has you still talking about it months later.
Still talking about it. She was the moment. Derek Fisher could have got himself a perm too to match. I've really enjoyed the coverage that ESPN is doing before game, during game, halftime, post game.
Love it. Please continue it throughout the season.
Please continue it much more often. We've got Holly there. We've got Andrea. I have loved Natasha Cloud on the mic.
Yes.
And I feel like she's giving us a lot. Not that like the reporters, sometimes I'm just like, y'all do this every day, so y'all probably don't want to do this. But Natasha has been giving a lot of behind the scenes footage. We can't ever forget Carolyn Peck, your best friend, y'all. Love Carolyn. Monica McNutt, they're all just crushing it. I love this team right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of y'all are jumping into listening to the spaces that are going on Twitter afterwards. Like, it's all really fun. The commentary around the game is very exciting.
It's been fire. Great finals. Thinking the Aces were going to win last night, I was thinking silver lining. We've got more basketball for a while. I'm very excited that we'll continue that because over in Australia, the time zones don't work for me, babes.
We were able to hop on a call from Australia, which was pretty cool. We heard from Jewel Lloyd and Kalia Copper, as well as Coach Cheryl Reeves. So that was pretty cool.
That was pretty
to
fun.
get some access to that. We didn't have any questions, but it was cool to be there.
Love to listen. I'm like just soaking up a lot of different things that they're saying.
Yes. For Balance Sports, I'm Jewelz.
I'm Hunter.